What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Get a Grip experience. Today, I'm back yet again by my favorite guest host, none other than the Sports Experience.
Aren't I your only guest host?
For now.
Still favorite. Alright, I'm gonna take that as a still favorite.
Yep. So, sad news. Titans have Corona. They were supposed to play the Steelers this week. So I won't be able to watch the Steelers this week.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
Like the Steelers are kind of they're getting the short end of the stick because they have to have a short bye week in week 4, then they have to play 13 straight games now.
it's not
It's brutal.
It's brutal, yeah. So let's kick it right
And
off.
it's like,
let's kick it right off. What's your first game?
well, obviously the Monday night game, the best game of the season. I'm willing to say that the best game of the season. Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson. The Chiefs beat the Ravens 34-20 in a score that shouldn't have been that close at all. And it was an amazing game. I had so much fun watching it. The Chiefs dominated on every side of the ball. Our defense was amazing. We held Lamar to under 100 yards passing. Can you believe that? We held him to under 100 yards passing. Our defense.
Your defense, yeah. Lamar Jackson did not play well. The score, as you said, should not have been that close. Chiefs played overall better football.
Yeah, I mean, like their one touchdown in the first half was on a bogus kick return. And I mean, that guy was fast. He had a good kick return, but Butker didn't kick it out of the end zone, which was a problem. And then our special teams guy couldn't tackle. So, I mean, that was kind of a bogus touchdown. And then their last touchdown was just garbage time points.
Yep. I was not impressed with Lamar Jackson in that game. I was impressed with Patrick Mahomes, though.
Oh, yeah. Like, Lamar, he was missing some open throws, but I don't think the full blame goes on him. That blame has to go on the defense. They weren't able to get to Mahomes at all. Not a single sack when they were pretty much bringing pressure on almost every play.
Yep. So,
we shut down the running backs. I was so happy. I still want to keep talking about it because it was amazing. But I was so amazed how we shut down the running backs. We held their leading rusher only got 39 yards besides Lamar. So, our defense, best in the league, I think it's fair to say right now. Best in the league, defense.
No, they're not even top 10.
What? We just shut down Lamar.
They're still not top 10.
We shut down Lamar. How many teams have been able to do that? The Titans?
Yes, they're in the top 10.
Okay, yeah, I read that article too.
It's a good article.
It is a good article. I agree with the offense more because you have the Chiefs ranked as number 1.
Yeah. My first game, not a very good game. It was the Bears versus the Lions. Was it the Lions?
There was Bears versus the Falcons.
Falcons, yeah.
And that was a game Mitchell Trubisky yanked down in the middle of the third quarter.
Like I said they should a long time ago.
Get him out of there! Yeah! The Trubisky era is over.
Mitchell Trubisky was the worst starting quarterback when he was starting.
Hey, Nick Foles magic, Nick Foles backup magic, and I predicted multiple times that Trubisky would be pulled by week 4, and I was almost accurate. They pulled him this week.
Yeah,
so close.
Nick Foles 3 touchdowns in the second half. That was absolute wonder.
Did you see his last touchdown?
Yeah. Oh my God.
That was insane. He was like backpedaling. He got hit as he was throwing, but like through like cross body. He was so cool.
Yeah, it wasn't as much as a Bears win as a Falcons fall apart yet again.
Oh my! The Falcons, they're always going to choke, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's just embarrassing.
They're winning.
The Falcons win.
They're winning 26-10 going into that fourth quarter, and then they give up 20 unanswered points.
That's just unacceptable. That is unacceptable.
To a backup.
To a backup.
To a backup.
To be fair, he should have been starting.
Yeah, but still, that's a guy who, I guess he was prepared to start. But now they're naming Foles their starter for like the rest of the season. So that's crazy. Like, can you imagine to be in Trubisky's position? You've got all that pressure in the world. You get drafted above Mahomes and Deshaun. Then you come in, you're good the first year, trash the second year. Everyone's got pressure on you, and then you get yanked in the third game.
Well, because he was playing like trash.
Against the Falcons defense, too. That's the thing. It was the Falcons defense. I don't think he gets pulled if he's playing like the Steelers defense. I don't think he gets pulled.
I think
But it was the Falcons defense.
I think he would still get pulled, but he probably would be starting again this week.
Yeah. I mean, like, the thing with starting Nick Foles is, like, you have to do that. You can't justify taking Trubisky out and then saying, oh, you can play the next week, too. Like, you can't justify that.
Unless you're in Tyrod Taylor's position.
Yeah, I feel bad for Tyrod Taylor.
Me too.
Jeez.
What's your next game?
All right. My next game, the Buccaneers versus the Broncos. Jeez. Broncos?
Suck.
I'm so sorry.
I hate the Broncos too, so I'm kind of enjoying this.
See, like, I normally hate the Broncos, but I don't hate them as much as I hate the Raiders. So I'll give them that. And, like, we'll talk about the Raiders, and that was a great game. Go Patriots. For the first time I've ever said that, go Patriots. But the Broncos, they had to put in Brett Rippon, who's now starting today. We're filming this on Thursday. So he's starting against the Jets in like an hour.
Yeah, what do you think about that move? I don't like that move. I personally feel like Jeff Driscoll against the best defense in the league played pretty well.
Oh, you're calling the Buccaneers the best defense in the league?
No, he played horrible against the Bucs, against the Steelers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, like, I think they should have left Jeff Driscoll in. And everyone's going to say, well, Brett Rippon did great against the Buccaneers in that garbage time. Did you see him making those throws? Yeah, that was against soft zone coverage. They weren't pressing. It was just prevent defense. They were giving him tons of room to work with. Any quarterback could have done well in that system. Trevor Siemian could have done well.
No, Trevor Siemian and Brock Osweiler still wouldn't have done.
Yeah, that's true. But, like, Brett Rippon, I mean, I know that's not how you spell his name. It's pronounced his name. I think it's like Brett Ripon or something like that. I'm going to call him Rippon, though.
I'm going to call him the Boise State quarterback.
Well, I read some stat, like, he had the most passing yards, something like that. He had, like, the most passing yards in his area. It was something like that.
I really enjoyed watching him at Boise State. He was fun.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, Brett Rippon, I think he'll be able to start next week, mainly because he's going up against the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And I've predicted, I don't know if you watch my predictions, but I predicted the Jets to win that one, only because I think the Broncos they won't be able to recover from all their injuries. Now starting Brett Rippon, I think the Jets will win that one, and Adam Gase will keep his job for 1 week. But, like, the Broncos defense is hurting.
I don't understand why Adam Gase still has a job in the NFL.
I know, man. Like, obviously, like, I would never wish for a guy to lose his job. Like, that's just mean. But, like, strictly from, like, if we're looking at how is he performing his job, he needs to be fired. If you want to have success, you need to fire him.
Yep.
And get Eric Bieniemy.
True. He doesn't even deserve to play college. He doesn't even deserve to coach college.
Yeah, like, his decisions are just, like, they're mind-boggling. It's like, what are you doing? Like, why?
Yeah. My next game, Bengals versus the Eagles. Oh my gosh, this was hard to watch.
An ugly game.
This was very hard to watch.
I stopped watching. I didn't really want to. I was just like, every few seconds I'd get an ESPN alert, and I'd be like, oh, that's cool.
Like, nobody cares about this game.
Except unless you like Joe Burrow. And, like, I like Joe Burrow, but there's a lot more interesting games on. Mm-hmm. And Joe Burrow he had his first real Joe Burrow-esque game. He had 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. He played good.
He did play good. Joe Burrow, I'm impressed with him so far. I think that he definitely deserves Offensive Rookie of the Year. Let's talk about how embarrassing the Eagles have been this year.
Jeez, I want to punt something thinking about the Eagles. I mean, like, seriously.
I don't like the Eagles. And I'm enjoying them not doing well.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, I semi-follow the Eagles only because I have a friend who's from Philadelphia. So I semi-follow the Eagles. But, like, they're in a division where the Cowboys could easily be 0-3. And the people that they played the Washington football team and now the Cincinnati Bengals, and they haven't won.
They,
Like, what are you doing?
I don't understand how you can do that bad. They did have a pretty big amount of hype because Carson Wentz was supposed to be all healthy and everything like that.
Yeah, he's elite.
No, he's not.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not
I mean,
anymore.
like he just couldn't escape the pocket. I don't understand what was wrong with him, but he just couldn't.
He's like a pocket passer that absolutely
But see,
refuses to run.
like he shouldn't be a pocket passer. We've seen he's got mobility. He should be able to get outside the pocket, but he can't.
He can't.
I don't know if that's injury slowing him down or what, but he fail. He's failing.
I'm interested to see if they could take him, if they take Trevor Lawrence or Trey Lance or even Justin
Well,
Fields.
they already have Jalen Hurts. So,
Oh right, yeah.
like,
Is
if you
he?
already have,
I wouldn't build my team around Jalen Hurts.
yeah, Jalen Hurts. I don't know about him. Like, we haven't seen anything of him for me to say anything.
This is mostly coming from me being a Baylor fan, and he went to Oklahoma. How did we blow a 32-point lead in the second half?
Oh yeah, that's right. I was just following along with on ESPN, and I kept getting alerts, and I was just like, what?
That was. I started crying because I was like, this can't be happening. We haven't beaten them in so long, and now we're gonna blow it.
Yeah. I forgot. Who's your college football team? Like, who do you like the most?
I like Baylor and Penn State.
Yeah, I don't know much about college football at all.
I bet you'd be an Alabama fan.
I probably would be a bandwagon. See, the only thing I know about college football is I'm never going to be an Alabama fan. That's all I know.
Yes. That's smart.
Yeah. All right. So, my next game was the matchup everybody was waiting for. The Dolphins versus the Jaguars. Thursday night football. I don't know who's scheduling these Thursday night football games, but I think they need to be fired.
They are purposely making them. I mean, tonight we even have the freaking
The
Broncos
Jets.
and the Jets.
Both those teams are winless. Nobody wants to watch this game.
And one's playing with their third string quarterback, who they cut earlier.
Yeah, it's like I mean, like the only reason they're scheduling them is because they know it's the only game on. So what else are we supposed to watch? But
The MLB
still,
playoffs.
they need to be fired. I mean, like I tried to follow MLB, but I just couldn't.
I can't. It's
like,
just too boring.
Like I really like baseball. Like I used to play it, and like I really like it, and it's much more exciting if you play it. But I mean, like watching baseball, like if I have a choice between a basketball and a baseball game, I'm choosing the basketball game. Yeah. 10 out of 10 times.
Oh, speaking of basketball, can we talk about those Lakers?
The Heat got smacked!
I love LeBron. I love the Lakers. That was a very fun game to watch.
Yeah. I mean, I'm conflicted. Like, I always, like, with the Patriots kind of thing, I always want to root for the underdog. But I got this weird thing about me where I know that the best team should win.
And you're a Chiefs
so
fan.
I will always pull for the better team if the Chiefs aren't in the game at all. Like the Patriots versus the Eagles, everybody hated. They all wanted the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. And I was like, yeah, I do, but the Patriots are the better team here. They should win.
I don't think I can ever say the words "Go Patriots." Tom Brady ruined them for me.
Yeah, I mean, Super Cam might be able to turn that around. I can't. Like, I guess I can kind of say it. I've grown warm to it after an off season without Brady on there, but still, it just feels unnatural saying it.
Yeah. So, let's see. My next game. Oh wait, no, we didn't even talk about the Dolphins.
We didn't even talk about it, do we?
We
just got sidetracked.
We don't even need to.
I don't think we need to. Yeah. The point is, the beard dominated the mustache, and that's all we got to say about it.
Yep. My next game. You know what? Let's just skip this one too. The Jets and the Colts.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
All I can say is both quarterbacks played atrocious. Trevor Lawrence is going to be a New York Jet.
very soon. All right, my next game, Titans versus the Vikings. The COVID outbreak, the source of the COVID outbreak. Uh, I like this was a fun game. It was back and forth a lot of the game, and Steven Gostkowski drilled six field goals, including the winner, which I felt happy for him because I felt bad for what happened in week one.
Against the Broncos.
Yeah, I like that was just a bad game. We won't sidetrack with that one. But Ryan Tannehill, he's playing okay, but the real story was all the running backs. Like Derrick Henry had 119 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then Dalvin Cook had like 180 yards for something like one. He had 1 touchdown, 180 yards.
Yeah, I had Derrick Henry on my fantasy team, so I was happy with that game.
Same. See, Derrick Henry's my starter, but now because that game is postponed, I have to take him out. So I'm definitely gonna lose this week.
Yeah, I'm trying to trade him everywhere, see if somebody's not paying attention to the headlines.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody's heard about it by now. But let's talk about that was a Vikings choke. I mean, they had Dalvin Cook going off. All he had to do was ride that wave, but they didn't. They had Justin Jefferson going off. Justin Jefferson had 175 yards. All you had to do was hold on to that lead, and they couldn't.
Yeah, it was an atrocious game by the Vikings. Well, towards the end, Kirk Cousins still not playing good.
Primetime Kirk.
Prime Kirk.
Oh man. Yeah.
My next game, another one that really is not good. Chargers and the Panthers.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert is continually impressing me. Keenan Allen had a good game.
So did Justin? Like I wasn't following it. He did start, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And
that doctor shoved a needle into Tyrod Taylor's lung.
yeah, like that's just unacceptable. That doctor needs to
He's
be
gonna
fired.
get sued. He's gonna get sued.
Yeah.
And for malpractice, probably.
So Justin Herbert had 330 yards, one touchdown. Austin Eckler, 1 touchdown on the ground. Keenan Allen, 132 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. That's pretty good, especially.
Yeah, I completely ignored this game.
Nobody was paying attention to it.
Yeah, I really didn't care about it because the only reason I would care is because Justin Herbert's starting. But even like that dream is like kind of like tattered because it's all because Tyrod Taylor was shot in the lung.
Yeah, I never liked Tyrod Taylor after he went to Cleveland because I don't like Cleveland.
Okay. Like Tyrod Taylor, can we talk about this? His entire career has kind of been just pain and suffering.
Yep.
I mean, like he bounces around the league for a while, finally gets a chance to start with the Bills. He has a good season, leads them to the playoffs. Oh, you're out of here. We have Josh Allen now. Goodbye. And now he finally gets a real chance to start. He has a rookie drafted onto his team, so there's like that looming threat of, oh, he's going to get replaced sometime. Then he gets shot in the lung and gets replaced because of it.
Was it an accident?
A conspiracy. See, we could talk about this for a while, but the short answer is yes, it was not an accident. That doesn't make any sense, but just agree to it.
What's your next game?
Raiders versus the Patriots. For the first time, I was kind of rooting for the Patriots because the Raiders are starting to get a little good, and I'm starting to get a little worried because if we have to go down to it where like it's the Chiefs and the Raiders tied for the first place in the AFC West, I don't want that to ever happen. So every time the Raiders lose, it's a good week.
Yeah, I mean, this is classic Raiders starting out on fire, then slowly looking like they might get the first pick in the draft.
Yeah, what's like surprised me is that Bill Belichick, like I know he's the greatest coach of all time, but he shut down Darren Waller. He like absolutely he silenced him. He only had 2 catches for 9 yards.
Wow.
Yeah, especially after last week where he torched the Saints. But Bill Belichick came in, and at one point he had 7 different guys covering him. Like I'm not talking about like on one play. But he kept experimenting. He would have this guy guard him on one series. Oh, and then you cover him on this next series. And then he kept like switching it up. It was amazing.
It was very impressive, not gonna lie.
Yeah, you can't compete with Bill Belichick, especially if you're the Raiders.
Mm-hmm. especially if you're a Raiders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sony Michelle broke out for a couple big runs. He's too slow to get away. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm on my feet like cheering, and then suddenly he's like slowing down around the 20-yard line, and I'm like, come on, man, make it to the end zone, but he can't. And then Rex Burkhead just finished the job for him, just jumping into the end zone.
yeah. My next game, Cardinals and the Lions.
What happened?
I mean, Kyler Murray, for first 2 weeks, he looked like he might be able to actually make the All-Pro first team, maybe even win an MVP. He kind of
Okay, that
slumped.
might be a little too far.
I mean, maybe, but not anymore. After that game, that's what I expected from him. He delivered. He had 270 yards, 2 touchdowns. And,
3 picks.
yep, DeAndre Hopkins, 137 receiving yards with a quarterback like Kyler Murray. That's impressive.
I mean, you know what's impressive? Trading away DeAndre Hopkins and then getting David Johnson in return. Not even getting a first-round pick.
A second-round pick. Wow.
Yeah. Oh wow. Like I guess we're getting off topic, but if you're Bill O'Brien, you seriously couldn't get a first rounder for DeAndre Hopkins? He might be the best receiver in the game.
And you
couldn't get a first rounder for him?
And you take David Johnson's contract?
Mm-hmm. And then like your replacement is Randall Cobb. Oh wow, we're going to the Super Bowl. Like, what are you doing?
They're 0-3 because we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, granted they played a couple of the best teams in the league, but I mean,
Oh,
I'll have to
yes,
watch.
they have.
I was referring to the Ravens and the Chiefs,
And
but
the Steelers.
I have to watch a rerun of this because I completely forgot about it. And when I saw that it was like one of the games, I completely forgot about it again, and I cast it off as a game that wouldn't matter because the Cardinals would stomp the Lions. But I have no idea what happened.
The Lions won.
I know that, okay. But how did the Cardinals lose?
Well, they got shut out in the fourth quarter. Both teams played absolutely atrocious. Matt Prater.
Did you watch this game?
I watched the second half.
Oh, okay. So you might know more than this. I was watching the Cowboys game.
Oh yeah, it was a good
which
game.
was fun.
Matt Prater made the game-winning 39-yard field goal as time expired. Matthew Stafford was not impressive. He threw under 270 yards, which is that's like primetime Kirk, but Matthew.
Yeah. But without the interceptions.
Yep.
Well, here's what's sad. I didn't even know that the Lions had won until 2 days later when I was listening to a talk show, and they were like, "Yeah, great job by Detroit." And I was like, "Wait, are we talking about hockey?" And I looked online, and sure enough, the Lions had won. And I was so confused because I had thought that the Cardinals had won.
I mean, we all just assumed that the Cardinals would win, but then they didn't.
Yeah, I was shocked. All right, my next game, the 49ers versus the Giants. We don't really need to talk about this one, mainly because Daniel Jones stinks. I think we can overreact to that. Daniel Jones stinks. He's dead.
Nick Mullins is a better quarterback.
Nick Mullins is the greatest quarterback, the greatest backup since Nick Foles. If we're going to be overreacting to things, Nick Mullins,
So
greatest
can we give
quarterback.
Nick Mullins the MVP award?
I know. I mean, like, the 49ers, like, essentially trotted out a bunch of fourth stringers, and they easily beat the Giants. All right, what's your next game?
My next game is the Seahawks versus the Cowboys.
Dang, that was a good game.
This is a really good game. Russell Wilson.
I watched that. Yeah, go ahead.
Russell Wilson, 14 touchdowns in 3 weeks. What?
Technically, technically, I'm gonna point this out. I'm just gonna point this out. Technically, Mahomes had a better game, statistically speaking. He had a better game than Russell Wilson. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Dak Prescott had a statistically better game than Mahomes.
All right, well, everybody's so high on Russell Wilson. He's the MVP, and I'm just gonna throw out there, not that he's not deserving of it, that Patrick Mahomes technically had better statistics.
But who's had better statistics overall?
I don't know. It better not be Dak.
It probably is Dak. It's probably Matt
We'll have
Ryan,
to check.
actually.
It's probably Matt Ryan. Here, most passing yards in season. It's gonna take a little bit. See, can we appreciate the wonders of the internet? Because 30 years ago, I would have had to go to a library for this. Now
Oh
I can
my
just look it up.
goodness. Dak Prescott has thrown for the most yards this year. What?
Darn it!
Josh Allen's in second. Matt Ryan's in third.
Punt something.
Matt Ryan's in third?
Okay, Mahomes is fifth. He cracks top five. Top five is good
Mahomes
enough for
is-
me.
Wilson is on top of him. Just want to point that out.
Man. Alden Smith had a good game. I'm just looking at the stat leaders and I see his name and I remembered. Like, oh yeah, he had a good game.
TJ
I mean,
Watt had a pretty good game too.
Nobody cares about DJ White, okay? I mean, the only reason that game was relevant is because the Texans choked a lead and the three Watt brothers were playing each other.
And the best defense of the league shut down Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson is trying to carry that team on his back. What is he supposed to do?
Hand it off to David Johnson.
And do what? Go for 3 yards?
No, 2 yards.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh, the leader in rushing is Derrick Henry.
That
Okay,
makes
right.
sense. Too bad he won't be
Makes
playing.
sense. Yeah. L'Jarius Sneed. You see that? 2 interceptions. The interception leader who just broke his clavicle yesterday. So that's great. But interception leader.
Is Dante Jackson and Xavier Rhodes. And who's TJ Carey?
They're tied. They're tied. See, TJ Carey and Xavier Rhodes, they both have inflated numbers because they're playing the Jets. Okay? That's where they
That's
got the
a good
interceptions from. So you can wipe them off the board. Dante Jackson, he's on the Panthers. Wipe them off the board. L'Jarius Sneed, the GOAT.
Defensive
He's also a rookie.
of
I'd
the
like to
year?
remind that. Yeah, I'd like to remind that. He's a rookie, and he's great. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, it won't be long before he overtakes Dak Prescott. And let's remember, I'm just going to throw that out there, that Josh Allen has played very bad teams. He played the Jets and the Dolphins.
And
So
give me some seriously good fantasy points.
his numbers are inflated. I'm just going to say that.
I believe it's your. Oh, I want to talk about Michael Gallup too. 138 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Oh my gosh. He did great. Let me talk about another wide receiver. DK Metcalf played great.
He's the good.
But did you see that play? Did you see
Yeah.
the play where he? Jeez, I mean that's just laziness.
Yeah.
It was a play where, if you didn't know, he was just throwing the ball. DK Metcalf wide open. He's jogging to the end zone instead of running. Dallas Cowboy comes up behind him, punches the ball out, touchback, no touchdown. I mean, come on,
And the
DK.
Seahawks still
Pardon.
won.
Yeah, the Seahawks still won. But, I mean, that would have inflated Russell Wilson's numbers. So, technically, if he had gotten that touchdown, he would have had a better statistical game than Mahomes, but he didn't. So, just gotta throw that out there.
What's your next game?
I had the Packers versus the Saints. That was a really good game. The Packers pretty much dominated that entire game because we're being told now that the Saints have no defense. They have no run defense, no pass defense.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I mean, they struggled against the Raiders, and now they struggle against the Packers. And Aaron Rodgers looks really good. I'll say that right now.
Not better than Ben Roethlisberger, though.
No, he looks definitely better than Ben Roethlisberger. I'm just gonna say that.
That's true.
And he looks like way better than
Dak
Big Ben.
Prescott's playing better than him, though, which is not supposed to happen.
Dak Prescott has not won. He's only won one game, and that was against the Falcons.
That was a crazy good comeback, you have to admit.
That was a choke by the Falcons.
That's
I
true.
refuse to give America's team props until they do something.
Steelers are America's team.
No, you are the steel curtain. You are the very definition
No,
of
it's not.
smoke and crime and dirt.
It's the steel hurting now.
Oh my gosh. I hate that nickname even more.
Me
Like, the
too.
steel curtain was cool. The
Yes.
steel curtain was tough. The steel curtain sounds like a boy
90s
band.
music song.
Mm-hmm. I hate that name. It's almost as bad as Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
What's your next game?
Oh, that was my last game, actually. Yeah, I think I might have left a game off my notes.
Yeah, I think you might have left 2 games off.
Oh, you have okay. Do you have the Rams and Bills on yours?
Nope.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that then. Did you see the PI call?
That was another horrible call.
Like, that's just a tacky call. And it's like, it's to decide the game, too. That's not like something in like the middle of the third quarter. That's to decide the game. And now it's like, they're both making contact. I don't know if you can call that, especially, like, that was just, that's tacky.
I think the refs in all sports, especially NBA, have been horrible.
Gee, okay. How does the NBA refs mess it up this bad? You're standing right there. It's not in like football where you're standing like 20 feet away. You're standing right next to the guy, and you mess up so many calls. It's something I've never understood. How NFL refs can be more accurate than guys standing 5 feet away from the players.
NHL referees, though, they get it right. They're jumping over that puck. That's impressive.
NHL refs, I have so much respect because they can skate and they can call plays accurately. Those are 2 things that I could never do.
Yeah. I can't skate.
Like I'm serious, I will break 30 bones if I try to skate.
Yeah. My next game, we're just gonna call this the Browns game.
Oh my gosh. See, the only thing that we need to talk about for that Browns game is how scary Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb are together.
I think they might have one of the best running back cores in the league.
Yeah, it's a 2-headed monster.
Oh, and they played the Washington football team, which makes a win even more impressive.
The Washington football team. I think they should just stop playing right now. They have no hope. Their team stinks. I think they should just stop playing.
And yet they're still one of the best teams in the NFC East.
That's true.
They could make the playoffs this year. The Washington football team could make the playoffs.
I thought I would never say that the Washington football team has more wins than the Philadelphia Eagles.
And the New York Giants combined.
Yeah. New York Giants, I expect that every year from them. So I'm not really shocked on that part.
Yeah. Do you have 1 or 2 more games?
I don't have any games. I don't believe I do. Yeah, I don't have any.
Okay, I'll just do my last ones then.
So it's up. The last one!
The Steelers versus the Texans.
Disappointing.
That was not a good game.
Now that we keep doing this recap, I've noticed I have so much animosity for the Steelers now. Like, I want them to lose now.
I've always wanted the Chiefs to lose, so I'm not even offended by those words.
We're never going to lose. We're never going to lose. Until we get humbled by the Patriots, I will stay cocky until we get humbled by the Patriots.
I'm staying cocky about the Steelers because technically we won't be undefeated after this week either.
Yeah, technically. I mean, you have an early bye week, so, I mean, technically, if the Chiefs lose to the Patriots, you'll have a better record than them. Technically.
That's true.
Even though if that happens, I'm going to be very mad.
Watch the Steelers go undefeated because they don't play another game.
No.
They technically have the best win percentage in the league.
Technically. Well, this game, didn't the Steelers make, a huge comeback?
Oh, yeah, it was like a 14-point comeback, but that was more of a Texans choke. Deshaun Watson did not play like Deshaun Watson. Steelers defense was played out of their mind.
What is Deshaun Watson supposed to do? He's trying to carry that team on his back.
Randall Cobb almost had 100 yards receiving.
When Randall Cobb is your leading wide receiver, that's when you know you have nobody.
The Steelers' leading wide receiver is like Deontay Johnson or something.
Deontay Johnson got injured midway through the game. You want to know how I know that? I started him in my flex position.
Oh, no.
I started him, and he got injured. So, that was great. He was out for the game.
My wide receiver fantasy team is freaking stacked. I got Mike Evans, Adam Thielen, and DK Metcalf.
Mike Evans hasn't done anything.
He got 2 or 3 touchdowns last week.
He caught 2 passes for 2. You want to hear the stat? He had 2 passes for 2 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I love it.
That's game of the league wide receiver right there. That takes talent.
That does. I mean, imagine being out on that field with dude. He's one of the tallest dudes on the field. What is he? 6'5", 6'3"?
Mm-hmm. Maybe if Tom Brady can throw it to him. And also, you were talking about how they should hand it off to David Johnson. He got the ball handed to him 13 times. And you want to know how many yards he got? He had 23.
That's more impressive than Benny Snell.
That's an average of 1.8 yards a carry.
That's less impressive.
Yeah. Benny Snell is only because they're feeding the rock to James Conner, which rightfully deserved. I just picked him up in fantasy.
Wait,
And then
he was a free agent?
Their game got postponed. So, great.
Yeah, it's just dandy. So, thank you guys for joining us. We will be doing this for the entire season if it doesn't get shut down. And we will see you guys next time.
Better not get shut down. Go Chiefs!
I'll just let that one slide in.